click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be here waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. To our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. We've got a live guest tonight. We've also got Rob, our co-host, waiting in the guest room, or in the backstage area, I should say. Before we get into that, let's take a few quick comments. We'll bring everyone on, and we will get this party started. Our good friend over at Vintage Mini Bike Lovers, which is another podcast we do Sunday night at 8 p.m. right here, wherever you're watching this. If you like those old mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, be sure and tune into that. He says, good evening, loud and clear here in Carterville, New York. Our good friend and regular viewer, Jim Holbrook, is in the house from Thetford Center, Vermont. Regular viewer. We're going to be playing one of his video clips a little later in the podcast. Reese Fleury, our good friend, says, loud and clear, Tupper Lake, New York. Regular viewer. Nice to see you. Good friend Steve Dickinson is in the house. He's saying, sounds good. Great to have you here. We want to bring you on the podcast just like we're going to do with Bruce, Steve, one of these times on the podcast here. Also, our good friend Benadim with the Benadim YouTube channel is in the house. I'll be popping a graphic for his YouTube channel later in the podcast. There's also a link in the description to his YouTube channel. If you like vintage snowmobiles, he has an excellent channel. I'm going to take one more comment, and then we're going to bring our friends on. We've got tons more comments coming in, which is a wonderful problem to have. But I want to bring our guests on and get this thing started. Kevin Culhane is in the house, regular viewer, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Good to be back. Yes, it's wonderful to have another season underway. So with that out of the way, let's bring our friends on here, get this party started, and make sure the microphones are all on. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Good, Mike. How are you? Bruce here.
Good, good. And Rob? Do we have audio for Rob?
Connected, Mike, I think.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I think I'm on.
Excellent. Yes, we got everybody in. Good video, good audio, good lighting. Yes, let's get this party started. So Bruce and I, the gentleman in the middle of your screen, we met a few weeks ago at a vintage snowmobile show in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. If you were viewing last week, you saw the video clip that he and I did together. And of course, we got to talking behind the scenes. Turns out he's got some sleds in his garage, which is where he is right now. And we're going to chat with him for a minute, and then he's going to show us some of his sleds. Bruce, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Mike. How are you? Gentlemen, welcome tonight. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Now, Bruce,
good.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, and how you got into snowmobiles.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years. 1971, I started riding a 1971 Rupp. My father was a construction worker, had the winters off, so we took up snowmobiling, and that started the ball rolling. Fortunately, the woman I married, my wife Joan, who you know well, she started riding with me, and we have our 3 children that are all adults now. and they all ride with our in-laws, and now we have our grandchildren too that we have. So
Wow.
we've been riding. I've been riding for 54 years, and my wife's been riding for 42 years. So we have a few years. And then vintage-wise, we started a couple years ago. We had some older stuff. Then all of a sudden, I went to one vintage show, and it really attracted me to start doing something. So Joan and I started, and once I walk around the garage, you'll see the collection of mess that I have here. But the one I'm very proud of the links that I restored for her and our granddaughters, and then the rest of our fleet. A few of them are for sale, but all of them have a little bit of mean something to me. And we've had a wonderful time the last few winters. The winter rendezvous, the ride-ins, people up in Monroe, New Hampshire, 2 years ago. The doctor opened up his field, and it was just an awesome day. And it was hysterical that day because it was a freezing cold day, and you could smell the warm apple pies that the women had baked. And my wife had to go home with a whole apple pie, but we had to wait until the end of the show before we could leave. And just the camaraderie that it brings back to all of us, and to be able to be together like that, it's huge for us. And that's why I'm here tonight.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I have to agree, these vintage snowmobile shows are really special. Just the social experience, the experience of seeing all these sleds from yesteryear that we remember from back in the day. It's a really special experience.
Yeah.
And Rob, anything to add to that before we continue? Or did Rob's camera freeze up? I have a
It
feeling
looks like he's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he'll log out and back in here
Okay.
in a second, but let's take a few quick comments, and then we're going to switch your camera around. Let me see, where was I? We've got oh yes, okay. David Lowry says sounds great. Hello from Alberta, Canada, regular viewer. Nice to see you. Kevin Culhane, regular viewer, says loud and clear, Sudbury, Ontario. Good to be back. Stacy and Art Fosler, regular viewers from the very beginning, are here from Plattsville, New York, or Plattekill, New York, I should say. Regular viewers, and we've got we're going to be having Art Fosler on the Muscle Car podcast in the near future. We haven't got a date yet, but that'll be sometime in the next month or so. Dave Trim says greetings from Carthage, New York. Nice to meet you, Dave. Also, our good friend Glad Ford is in the house. Good evening, regular viewer from Vernon Center, New York. Nice to see you. Tim Bewick is in the house saying hello to everyone. Nice to see you, Tim. Kevin Culhane says, apps loud. Apps loud. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but that's okay. Mad Dog says, Randy from Wisconsin. Looks good. Regular viewer. Nice to see you, Randy. Carmen Russo, regular viewer from Oneida, New York. Nice to see you. Steve Woodward in the house saying hello. Ivan Mayu says, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario. Longtime viewer, and we really appreciate that. And let's see, we've got Rob here. We're having some connectivity trouble tonight, but we won't let that slow us down. It sounds like we've got good audio on him as well. Did I hear some?
I'm back on.
Excellent. We've got good audio too. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, also our good friend John Springer Jr. is in the house. Says, good evening from St. Germain, Wisconsin. Internet is not so good up there. Sorry to hear that. Jeff Wesner is in the house. Great show, he says. Nice to see you, Jeff. Appreciate that. Also, Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers, watching on the Benedim channel. Looking forward to seeing Bruce's collection. And by the way, the Benedim YouTube channel is one of the new places where this podcast live streams out to, and we appreciate being able to collaborate with them. That's great. In fact, let me switch screens here so I can pop a graphic up. I want to give Benedim some love. The Benedim YouTube channel. There's a link in the description. They have an absolutely excellent YouTube channel devoted to vintage snowmobiles. So if you like that stuff, it's definitely something you want to check out. Link in the description for the Benedim YouTube channel. So the moment we've all been waiting for, we're all dying to see Bruce's collection here. So as you're ready, Bruce, feel free to turn that camera around so we can put you full screen here and have a look.
Let's see what I can do here. Camera, where are we?
It just froze up.
Here we go.
Excellent. Good. Let me put you full screen. And how do I do this?
I just went full screen on my end.
Yeah, and I'm working on getting.
Screws up too much.
Okay, here we go. This is what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm after. Excellent. So yes, talk to us.
All right, so off is my 1991 Formula Plus. It has 1,011 original miles on it. I picked it up one day by surprise, where some young man came to me and told me that his dad bought it back in Wisconsin, moved here to Connecticut to live with him to end his life. The son kept it and didn't want a snowmobile, so I turned around and bought it. And that's one of my favorites because I was a rup guy back in the 70s. Next to it is my 1970 all original 399 TNT. Needs a little bit more work, but I tried to keep it all original. You gentlemen that are from the Northeast, you can tell that it has the original New Hampshire registration decals from back in the 70s on the middle of the hood. I'll go in a little bit closer on it so you can see. So that's an original on there. The sled is all original. I put new drivers on it last year, new exhaust system. Good running sled. It tows our caboose that you'll see in a minute.
Nice.
That is the pride and the wife and the ladies fleet. My finger's in the way. This was a 2000 twin, a Lynx 2000 twin, a 1979 Arctic that we bought in pieces and stuff. And Joan wanted it because it was pink, and we have 5 granddaughters now. So last year, her and I restored this with our granddaughters, and that year we had an excellent time. We took it to the Washington, Vermont ride-in, and it's been to the 3 shows this year so far. So it's been a lot of fun for her.
Nice.
Next off is a 71 TNT 440. It's got the, it's all original. I haven't started on that yet. I've just cleaned it up. The 440 motor is currently frozen. I'm soaking it. But also in my trips to the shows, I found another whole 440 motor that's 370 serial numbers off by motor. So it was on the same assembly line as this one. So if I have to go to that option motor, I do have that available.
That's
so
cool.
That's those. I don't think you need to see much more. That one has the original registrations on it and everything also.
Nice.
Then I'll come back over the links here. The links, Joan and I went online, spent a lot of time finding the parts. We found a seat cover, an original seat cover from a old new stock out in Minnesota. The guy was nice enough to send it to us. Then the back of the 399 and the Formula Plus. The Formula Plus is kind of my pride and joy right now. I didn't expect to have anything like that. And walking through to the back of my garage, excuse the stuff.
Sure.
We're coming up on my 69 caboose. That was a full restoration. That's what kind of got us started when I brought it home and several and said, "What is that hunk of metal?" I said, "Oh, it's a hunk of fiberglass, and you're going to ride in it." And 2 years later, we had it going. And then I have a friend that does upholstery work. My son designed the seat, and he built it for me, and I designed the panel, seat height, and all that, along with the windshield. So I don't know if you can get a good view of that with this.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's all original there. I'm sorry, I keep sticking my finger in there. And then over on the side here, this is my son's 1982 Skidoo Nordic. That is all original with the original super high windshield that they came with. He found that in a garage 2 towns away. And we brought it home. Took us a little bit to get it going, but it is all intact. It is all original. So that's the an 82 Skidoo Nordic.
Yeah.
Go around the back here. I think it's got like 1,600 original miles on it or something. I don't know. What does it say there? Hey there. Yeah, 394 kilometers. So
Yeah.
2,000 miles. Canadian sled. The Nordics came from Canada. Somehow we ended up with 2 of them.
Yeah.
The caboose here is something that I started with children on. A snow scoot. Back in the day, kids banged it up pretty, replaced the bumper. I just haven't taken time to paint my snow scoot there. Seat ripped too. Beneath the rack, you see a couple of a 2000 MXE, Grandpa's favorite, because I love those old ZX styles. And right next to that, if anybody's interested, I have a 2002 Ring stick Grand Touring that we've used as a spare. And that is, I will sell that. That is a great sled. We run it around all the time. It's just a spare for us. And then I have a little paint shop in here. And in my paint shop, I currently have a 1993 Formula Plus, all disassembled and taken apart. As you can see, there's stuff everywhere, but I'm trying to go with the red and red like the 91. And I've been starting a restoration project on that. So that's my next project. And next to that is another Nordic that's in just pieces and covered. So I don't know if the rest of you guys have garages that look like this, but this is my my man cave, and this is my collection. I have a few other sleds that sit outside, that are outside currently. I have an 89 Skidoo Formula MX long track, which they were very rare. That's in the process of either being sold or restoration. And then I have a 1983 John Deere Trailfire that's all original sitting out there that possibly could find a new home if anybody's a John Deere person and wanted to have that come on to their home.
Wonderful.
So that is the extent of my garage. I'm sitting back on the Plus now.
Yes.
And quick span of it again.
Nice. And if someone is curious about buying any of those sleds that you have for sale, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Probably just call me.
Sure.
Yep, I can give you my cell phone number. It's 203-530-3833. Anytime during the day. 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night.
Sure. And if they're watching this live and they miss that number, just once this is finished, go back to the 18-minute mark and you'll be able to find that, and you'll be able to get his number. And we've got a few comments coming in. I also want to give Rob a chance to weigh in as well. But we got Rich Shad here saying good evening. Nice to see you. He's a regular viewer. Ben Adim says first sled I ever rode was a 73 Lynx. Still have it in the barn. Hope one day to whip it into shape and have it look as good as yours. Also working on a 71 292 TNT. And Rob, did you have any comments, reactions to what we've been looking at?
Nice collection. The red Skidoo, is it a 530?
No, it's the 518.
Oh, nice.
The 91s only had the 518, and then they went to what is it? I'm sorry. This is a 521. 521, and then they went to the 580s on the 93 that I have over the other ones. So, and it's the detuned one, the one on this 91 motor. It runs really good though. So, yeah, thank you.
And I like the scooters. Yeah.
You like the scooters? Yeah.
Oh, everybody.
That's a hit everywhere.
A lot of the oval races we go to, a lot of people have them for pit snowmobiles to bomb around with. They're collector's pieces.
I bought that thing here left over to pick it up. It has been the house trips made. All three of my children have ridden it. All of their friends. I've ridden it. I've never even. Parts from. Oh my God! He goes, "You never changed the bell." I said, "Never." He goes, "Oh, it's a great little sled."
Yeah, I have a 72 Jag 340 and a 74, but the 72 has a leopard seat. The 74 doesn't.
Yeah. Change the colors. Yeah.
Wow. And we've got a few more comments that have come in. Robert McQueen is here saying, Robbie Rupp is listening. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Also, Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lover says, yes, my garage is a lot like yours. He says, Bruce, but not just with all that sweet hardware. Or yes, but just not with all the sweet hardware. Okay, gotcha. And
thank you.
Stacy and Arfoser says, I have a 91 MX 500 with 175 miles on it. Nice.
Oh, those were a very rare sled, a 500. Yeah.
Very cool.
And they were specially designed for the 500 racers, weren't they?
Yes.
Everybody had to run a 500cc in that class?
Yep. Yeah, that's why the 521 in this wouldn't run it. They had to put a 500 in them, and they were runners though too. Yeah.
Nice. And while we're doing this, I wanted to kind of put a bug in the ear or in the mind of our viewers, because these live tours like this live garage or man cave tours looking at vintage sleds, personally, this is my favorite part of doing these podcasts. It might be for you guys as well. And if that's the case, if you've got a collection similar to Bruce or something that you'd like us to look at, please reach out to me behind the scenes and we'll schedule a time to bring you on, just like we've done here with Bruce, because I love doing these live tours where people can react and interact with it. To me, that's just the funnest part of doing these podcasts. And what about you, Bruce and Rob? Do you like that with these podcasts, this live tour kind of thing?
Bruce, your garage is 10 times cleaner than me. And I'd hate to do a broadcast there in case one of the people online fell or hurt themselves.
Yeah. Thank you. I do have to work on it though. I have to have a little better organization. I got parts and things everywhere. So, sure. But thank you.
I hear you. Oh, and then Dirk Seams is in the house. He's from Ottertail Lake, Minnesota. He said he was out sailing today, but he'll be switching to snowmobiling very soon. And he's been on here on the podcast before to show us sleds, just like we've done here tonight. And so he's got a lot of Polarises. He's really into that. Oh, and also Brian Van Heverbeek. He's a kitty cat collector. We've been to his place too for a virtual tour. Yeah, it's nice to see him. He says good evening, and he likes your collection. I think he's got a few Ski-Doos in there too.
Yeah, I have a kitty cat over there. I didn't uncover it. I forgot about that little kitty cat. That's over there too.
Sure, for next time, right?
The next time, yep.
Yes. And then Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says, indeed, Mike, love seeing the sleds and hearing the bag stories. Cool deal. And since we've got this on the screen, we want to give a big shout out to Ben and the Vintage Mini Bike Lovers podcast. The second Sunday of every month, 8 p.m., we do a vintage mini bike podcast. If you like those old mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, you're going to love this podcast. We're going to be doing one this coming Sunday night. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to be here hanging out, doing the same kind of thing with mini bikes. So if you like that kind of stuff, please join us. But yeah, so I'm going to, before we switch gears, I want to give a chance for any more people to comment or ask questions of Bruce with his collection before we move on. And then we're going to do Amsoil, and we got a few video clips we're going to look at. So I'm going to give a minute for that. And is there anything else that we want to talk about? Anything, Rob, that you can think of? Any comments, questions?
Bruce, what was your first machine you had?
We started in 1971. The first snowmobile my dad bought was a 1970 wide track 30 Rupp.
Oh yeah.
And then in 1972, he bought a 30 horsepower American, and he bought himself a 400 Nitro. And then we were Rupp people all the way into the 80s. And then we had a fire here at the house, and we lost 9 sleds that would all be just about priceless collectors by now. We lost them all, and I lost my dad and I lost my brother. But Joni and I came here, and we took care of my mom. And then we went into Ski-Doos in the 80s, and I've been a Ski-Doo person ever since then.
Oh,
so, yeah. I love my doos. I can't live without them, you know.
Absolutely. They do bring a lot to the game for sure.
Yep.
Cool deal. Oh, one more comment. Here, Jeff Wesner echoes your comment. He loves the Ski-Doos also.
Thank you.
Oh, and John Spranger Jr. says, Bruce, great collection. Cool deal. Cool deal. Yeah. So we're going to transition into Amsoil, and then we're going to look at some video clips. But Bruce, we hope you can stick around and view these video clips with us and hang around for Amsoil.
I'm going to stick around. I'm with you.
Excellent. Well, good. We appreciate that. And Rob, we hadn't had a chance to talk about this, but I do have that graphic for the promotion. So whenever you're ready, I'll put you full screen here and
okay. Show people and stuff like that. But I've been up the cabin getting the new windows put in, getting ready for the winter. Hopefully you got snow this year. But everybody says, why do I do snowmobile so much at the snowmobile shows? Because the snowmobiles only buy a few gallons of oil a year. Everybody has a snowmobile, has a truck. And if they have a truck, they want the Amsoil synthetic oils in it. Because Amsoil 100% synthetic oil is good for 25,000 miles or 1 year. Makes the truck run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, up to 25% better gas mileage. And at 60 below zero, this bottle still pours. It doesn't get thick like other petroleum oils do. So it's a great product for snowmobilers because you're not out snowmobiling when it's 10 degrees. You're out there when it's 20, 30 below. If you want your vehicle to start to come home, Amsoil is a great product. But we have a top-of-the-line snowmobile oil, our Interceptor. It meets Skidoo, Polaris, Arctic Cat, all their qualifications. And Amsoil is so confident in their oil, they came out last year with a new program. On this program right here, Run to Freedom. Anybody that buys a new machine or a 1-year-old machine and they put Amsoil in that snowmobile, Amsoil will give you an extra year warranty on your engine. Not the manufacturer, Amsoil will give you an extra year warranty. That's how much they're in confidence of their product that it's going to make the engine last longer. So we just won't outperform the other products. We make the engines last longer, cut down friction and drag, give you more horsepower. And you really notice it because if you got a snowmobile that's 400 pounds and it's 79 horsepower and you got a 10% increase in horsepower, you notice that. In a car, you got to check your gas mileage to find out that you got an increase in horsepower. But in a snowmobile, if you got two people, both of them have the same identical 600s, they'll want to be 2-3 miles an hour running the Amsoil. And if you have a couple of guys that go out and they do 5,000-6,000 miles a year on their snowmobiles, and after 3 years of running it, the one with the Amsoil, he'll have zero wear on the inside of the engine. It's not like that with the other products. So if you want more information about the Amsoil product, how you can buy it at a discount price directly from Amsoil by being a preferred customer, save 25%, Mike's got a link you can join on. And anybody that orders anything for the next 2 weeks, $49 worth of product, we're going to give you free shipping. So if you order 1 jug of Interceptor, $49, and you might as well get a chain case oil at it while you're at it, and you get free shipping right to your door. So for more information about how to become a preferred customer, $10 for 6 months, and you save $50 on a case of oil. So why not save money, buy it directly from Amsoil, and every time you order Amsoil through this program, you'll help this broadcast. It's your turn, Mike.
Yes, and we very much appreciate the people who have been buying Amsoil using my link. Like you said, it helps to support this podcast. And if you're considering doing this, we appreciate that too. We'd love to have you part of the team. The cool thing is too is Rob and I are here to support you. I'm signed up as a dealer under Rob, so when you sign up for Amsoil through me, he and I both benefit, and we're also both available to you with any kind of questions, support, whatever you need. We're here for you. So yeah. Let's see, get the menu going here. We are on item number 3. Our regular viewer, Jim Holbrook, sent me some footage from the Bethlehem, New Hampshire Vintage Snowmobile Show that happened this past weekend. And that's something I really like about this podcast too, is I like that we're becoming the place where people can go to see what's happening at all of these vintage snowmobile shows all across the snow belt, the U.S. and Canada. People are sending me footage and images, and with the images I put them into a little montage with some music under it, and the footage I do something similar, and it's just I love the idea of this being the place where we can see what's going on at vintage snowmobile shows. So instead of talking about it, let's take a look at Bethlehem, New Hampshire here last weekend.
Figure out how to get to here and there and stuff. I stopped. I don't want What's this going on? I guess my point is, I don't know to ride that. You might be able to get it running as far as he's not sure. If I brought, like, tune this one around the bar.
Get myself on those ones with pipe.
So yeah, thank you so much to Jim Holbrook for that footage from Bethlehem, New Hampshire this past weekend. Bruce, Rob, reactions to what we were looking at here?
Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, they had a lot of good iron up there. Good looking sleds. That old chaparral right at the beginning there. The guy with the Arctic Cat running that engine up. That's I still love the sound of those pipes. Something about when they run pipes on the open chambers like that. I still love that noise. And also just before that, that 75 Arctic Cat Z. Those were right there. Those were quite. If you had a good run of one and you could make him run, and you got those Arctic clutches, those hex Arctic clutches, you could get those things. They were one good, very good snowmobile to run. So that's had a lot of good looking equipment up there. So that's a nice show. Nice day up there too.
Definitely. And this guy right here running that sled, his name is David, and I'm having a senior moment. I'm drawing a blank on his last name, but he collects El Tigres. These are all his. And that sled right there frequently will take loudest sled in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of kicking myself. I'm drawing a blank on his last name, and I apologize to him for that because I'll be embarrassed when I hear his last name. So of course. But
probably on that sign, Mike.
It probably is.
Yeah.
I can't read it.
But I can't. It's something. Stroud. Dave Stroud. Dave Stroud. Yes. I'm glad I thought of it while he's on the screen. But cool. And yeah, Rob, reactions to this?
Yeah, Bruce. Back in 1979, I used to run the Yamahas, but I run Arctic Cat clutches on because they just work better.
Well, they were very adjustable back in the day with the early 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
Yep. And Bruce, have you ever driven one of those Huskies?
No.
They look really neat to drive, but people say if you go through a ditch, you're going to break your knuckles. I don't know. Is that true or not?
Well, I've also seen the one show that I went to on that Husky, you get extremely covered with snow because the tracks kick it right up on you. So I know that they do not go fast, and it is a messy on your body.
Sure.
Up in my area, the people bought them to haul logs out of the woods with.
Would make a lot of sense.
And they would have like a sleigh behind the one you sat on.
Yeah.
Yep. But I've never had a chance to ever take one for a ride. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, no, I never have either.
And I've heard too that you can pin your knees under there. Like if you go up a little hill, like up a little snowbank. You can pin your knees under that bar while you're sitting on that.
And that's when you
irony.
break your knuckles, they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
And
see
another
that
rumor I
happening.
always heard that there's somebody in the States that's going to reproduce the Merc Snow Twisters for people who want to go vintage racing, because you don't want to take a vintage one to a vintage track. So somebody's supposed to be reproducing those Merc Twisters for anybody who wants to go racing.
Well, I know there was a manufacturer in Massachusetts
Oh,
at the Mercury Marine Division who bought the template for the stamps for the chassis. But I guess some legal thing held it up. But yeah, that would be I don't know what they would power them with now. You know, those little Merc chassis. Oof, if you ever they didn't matter what motor you had, if you got that thing set up, that little chassis, everything was balanced perfect on that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And up in my area, they're $10,000 to buy. So you really don't want to buy one and take up vintage racing.
No.
oh yeah, no, that's a huge expense. And then I don't know, you know, while we're talking about it, I don't know if it's the time, but we have seen the clones where the guys go out and rebuild a Merc Snow Twister, for example, or like Ray's stuff right next there with the Rups. Some of those are clones and some of those are hand built.
Oh, did he lock up on us? I think
so.
Yeah. Crap. All right.
We have a guy up here that built a Scorpion oval racer, a Pro machine, a clone of one. And you can't tell the difference between that and the original race machine. What a great job he did on it.
That's amazing. And this Mercury here belongs to Ray Parento. He also owns these Rups. He's got a red hat on. Oh, here we go. Bruce is back on. There we go.
You got me back?
Yes, much better. And I was just saying these Rups and that Snow Twister belong to Ray Parento. And in fact, was that him?
He was
that might be him right there in the gray shirt, but I can't get it. I know he had a red hat on, but we kind of cut off the top of him. But I also want to point out a couple of other people. So there's Dave Stroud, LT Gray collector extraordinaire. Also sitting in this chair right here is Steve Dickinson. He owns this 460 cat. He's a serious cat collector as well. Also, okay, so these guys right here, sitting down is Steve Bushway. He owns those Yamahas. And also in the middle here with the light hair is Paul Crane, none other than the legendary Paul Crane, first American to ride a ski-doo in the U.S. or Canada. He owns Crane Snowmobile Museum. He's one of the founding members of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Just the list goes on and on. Founding member of the first snowmobile club in America. Just an amazing guy. He puts on an amazing show every February as well. And then he's talking to Tom Waters, who also is an excellent collector and restorer of sleds. And who else? Thought I saw a couple of other people I recognized. Thought I saw Mark Bristol in there. That might be him in blue, but I'm not sure. That might be Mark Bristol, and I was in touch with him today. He's got a sled he wants to show us on the podcast. I'm sworn to secrecy about it, though, so I'm going to kind of tantalize with you guys with that he's got a really special sled I'm trying to get him on the podcast with real soon. Any other comments about this? I'm going to take some comments from the viewers, but Rob and Bruce, any other comments on what we're looking at?
Looked like it was a good show.
Yeah, it looked like a good show, and the only thing, like I said, I started off on the clones. The guys do an excessive amount of time and dollars to put those together, but they do a beautiful job with them. So
yes. And this spot here in Bethlehem is an excellent location, really nice location. And he always manages to hold that show when the foliage is at its peak.
Yeah. Makes it real nice.
It sure does. It's a really nice spot he's got there. So let's take a few comments, and then we've got a few more clips to look at. Let's see. We've got Dave Trim. It says, it's all I use in all my sleds, vintage and new. Great stuff. I think he's talking about Amsoil, and that is great to hear. Glad to hear a ringing endorsement for Amsoil. Jeff Wesner says, nice show. Love the smoke. The two-stroke smoke. Yes. Benadim says, the best for last, nice black dot and Olympic. Yes, in fact, let me go over to that. Yeah, right there.
Yep.
He also says, I think that was a duplicate post. Okay. Darren Lumby, frequent contributor to this podcast, and we greatly appreciate that. He says, thank you guys. You're getting me wound up for the white stuff. You guys really do a great job. So thank you again. And we thank you for patronizing this program, Darren. We really appreciate that. He's been here for a long time, and we appreciate that. Jim Holbrook says that's his Speedway. Cool deal. And that was that blue one.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. And then Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says it looks like an awesome show for sure. Yeah, and that's a great location right off I-93, Bethlehem, New Hampshire. Just go straight out on 302, and it's right across from Beach Hill Automotive, which Phil Bell owns that, and this is his lot across the street. Phil Bell is the one who puts this show on. He does an excellent job with that show too, by the way. I think this might have been the third or fourth annual. Well, cool. So let me reorient myself here. We're on item number 4. Regular viewer Midnatt Rider sent me some footage from the VSCA National Show in Duluth, Minnesota. This happened back in August, the 2nd through the 4th. So I've got some footage from him. Let's cue that up right here. Now, I have to say something about this. I always ask people, please send me horizontal footage because it's difficult to work with vertical footage. Unfortunately, he had some vertical footage, but we were able to work with it anyway, and you'll see what I did here to make it so that we could view it. Like I said, we can look at vertical footage, but horizontal is always preferred. So if you're going to send me footage, please, if you possibly can, try to take horizontal footage. But like I said, we can work with whatever you send us. Here we go.
There's my snow scoop.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. Thank you so much to Midnight Rider for that footage. Really appreciate that. Looks like a great show. Reactions to that, gentlemen?
Go ahead, Bruce.
Okay, some beautiful equipment there. Those Articat Snow Pros at the beginning, the factory racers in what was that? That would have been 79, 80, and 81 that looked like those were. Those were, yeah, right there. That is an awesome thing. And then Articat did own, Bob Elsner did own #1 that year. And then if you move over to the other one, that's the following year. And then that Polaris right there, that Polaris RXL, right there, that team Arctic won. That was the last year of the Arctic Grand Snow Pro. And then that factory Polaris RXL finished and redone. That is a beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment there.
Yes.
And then those original moto skis, poof. That's the old GS SS25, which I think Motoski called it the Mirage, and Skidoo called it the SS25. Right there. That's those were that was the start of the liquid cooled evolution that really took the rotary valves and moved on. And then the original moto skis. So that's a beautiful job there. Beautiful job.
I wonder if that's
There's
all
my snow scoot there.
Yeah. I wonder if that's all the same collector that owns those motor skis.
I don't know. Nice show out there though. Beautiful show indoors. You know.
Yes. Oh, and there's that Chrysler, what was that, a snow scoot or something? Snow Runner, I think.
Snow Runner. Yeah, Snow Runner, I think they called them.
And some kitty cats for Brian Van Heverbeek.
Yeah.
He's a serious kitty cat collector. And what's that? Is that a Boaski, that red?
Is that a Boaski? I wasn't sure.
I'm thinking I'm not 100%.
Or is it an errand?
I'm not 100%. I'm sure one of the viewers will know. If anyone knows what that is, please leave a comment. I'm about 80% that it's a Boaski, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
But
but a lot of nice sleds out there. A lot of beautiful sleds out there. They did a real nice job.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead, Rob.
Sure, it's a difference. Compare indoor show to outdoor shows. Man, there's a lot of shining, glowing parts inside that show.
Yes.
They sure polish them up. Yeah. And what was that one beside your snow scoot? Just back, right? That red one with the yellow seat. What is that?
Well, I don't know what that is.
It looks like it's a customized. It looks like somebody took something and customized it to look like a fire engine. It looks like a Farmall truck almost.
Yeah. If any viewers know what that is, definitely. Oh, and we've got comments coming in, so maybe we'll have some answers here. Oh, yes. Okay. So that first red one I was asking about says Scorpion. A lot of people are saying Scorpion, so it's probably a Scorpion. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting Scorpion on that. And Jeff Wesner said those motor skis are owned by 3 people. I interviewed them. Nice. And if you happen to have footage of that, Jeff, we would love to see that and share it on the podcast here for all of us to enjoy. God, I'm telling you, senior moments, man, they come more and more frequently every year.
That's what I thought it was, the Stingray.
Sure.
That red one with the headlight.
Yes.
It's a Super Stinger?
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, right there in the corner.
Yeah.
And
because it has a sparkle paint job like Stinger did.
Yes, they had that big flake. And let's see, Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says the quality of the sleds at the national shows is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Oh, and then getting back to that red one with the yellow trim, Willie's Snow Dart. Let me find that again.
Never heard of that brand before.
I don't think I have either.
Just before the kitty cats.
Yeah, right there. We just went by. This thing goes so fast. Right there, sort of. It's hard to stop right where I want to, but
tell the gentleman to move out of the way.
Yeah,
get out of my way.
And then Darren Lumby says Super Stinger for that other red one. Morris Bailing says that offset Polaris Starfire is his. Outstanding.
Oh, beautiful job.
Fact, let me go to that. In fact, Morris, if you ever have a chance with your cell phone camera, right here, I think must be what he's saying. if you're able to take your cell phone, hold it horizontally like this for a wide shot, do kind of a walk around of that sled and talk it up like you're telling a friend about it, and share it with us here. And we'll put it on the podcast for everyone to enjoy. We would love to have a close look at that sled. Very cool. And then there was one other comment I was going to make. I think I recognize someone there. I've met him once in person. He's been on the podcast a few times. These two guys right here, the guy on the right, I believe, is Valdi Stephenson, who's been on the podcast a few times. He's a serious collector, and he's going to be on the podcast very soon, too. We were messaging just today. We're going to have him on the podcast.
Is that an AD Bovin?
I believe it is.
Razor that he has there? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Ben from Vintage Mini Bike Lovers says, Willie's Snow Dart, no kidding. Encyclopedia Reese comes through again. Absolutely. And apparently I had the wrong Polaris. So let me see if I don't think it was the RXL. Let me see what other Polarises there were there.
Right at the beginning, right after the Cats.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There was that RXL.
Was that first RXL, the one that I commented on? Right there for 15.
That must be the one. Yes.
Yeah, that was the offset Snow Pro racer that Polaris built.
Nice. So Morris,
Midnight Blue Express.
Yes.
That was the second. Yeah, that was second generation Midnight Blue Express right there.
Nice. So Morris, if you're game to do that, just hold your. Let me put myself full screen so you can see what I'm talking about. If you hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot and just do a little walk around video of that sled, talk it up like you're telling a friend about it, we would love to share that on the podcast so everyone can enjoy it. Oh, and he says that's not it either. All right, well, let me see if I can find it here. There was some TXs there. I wonder if that Centurion or this TX. Oh, maybe this one here.
The blue one?
Or that white one. But there was the
white and red hood with cylinder sticking out. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's this TX, and it might be this other one. And let me just scroll some more to make sure that there are no. Yeah, maybe that's it there. Is that a Polaris?
That's the offset one he's talking about. There you go.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Yes, I see what you mean now by the offset.
1972.
Wow.
340.
That's got to be it. Is that it, Morris? So hopefully he'll let us know if that's it, because I would love. Oh, he said no, it's not it, unless he was talking about the other one we were looking at. But and let's look around some more in case there's another one we missed. There's some old cats. Yeah, I have a feeling it was that last offset Polaris, because that looks like that was offset. Must be for oval racing or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But whichever one it was, Morris, we would love to see a video on that. If you're game, and also for anyone else viewing this, if you have interesting sleds, please take video of us so that we can put it on the podcast for everyone to enjoy. That's what we like to do with this podcast, is have kind of a show and tell sort of experience here, so we can enjoy, see what people's sleds or see what people have for sleds and everything. So please share footage with us. We've got something else here to look at. We're on item number 5. Regular viewer Mike Whiteside was at Heydays. He had a chance to meet Blair Morgan and MJ Thompson. This was on September 7th through the 8th. And he sent some images and a video clip. Let's pull those up here. Take a look.
Hi, Joni. We're still on the podcast. Yeah, they're showing 2 other shows. I started it off, and now we're on for the last thing now.
yeah, thank you so much to Mike Whiteside for these images and footage. Love seeing that stuff. If you're going out to shows, events, anything like that, races, please take images and video for us. And we'll share it here on the podcast so we can all enjoy that. All we ask is if you're doing video is please hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. It's a lot easier to work with that in editing. But please consider doing that. We would love to see that and share it on the podcast so we can all enjoy it. Reactions to this, guys?
You had a blue Arctic cat on there. I don't think I've ever seen an Arctic cat blue before. Yeah.
A blue? I didn't see a blue Arctic cat either.
Right there.
Yeah, right
Had an emblem on the front.
there.
Yeah, right
Yes,
there.
the cat right there.
Oh yeah. No, isn't that a Polaris IQ?
That suspension, I don't know. It looks like a Polaris suspension.
Yeah.
But it says cats on there. But
It does, doesn't it?
confusing things, and it's with a bunch of other Polarises too. I don't know.
Then there was a Polaris there's a Polaris right there with yellow skis.
Yes.
I know some of my Polaris friends would never do that.
Yes, sacrilege. But that's cool.
When I think of heydays, I think of the drags. I'm surprised there wasn't some shots of some of the finals at the drags.
That would be cool to see.
Fastest machines in town all show up for heydays.
Oh man, unbelievable what they do for that.
Yeah. I know some guys who work all year long to build a machine. Just the only race they go to is heydays.
Wow.
Do you know that our dealer out here in Connecticut, his driver won it several years ago? He was telling me that he wanted to go back there. It was going to cost him almost $100,000.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
That's some big money.
Some people go there and run like 5 classes.
Yeah. A lot of sleds there.
Yes. Yeah. One of these days we got to do a road trip and go out there.
Yep.
Count me in.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Joni came out and talked to me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you guys. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
My dog comes out all the time, sees me. Where is she? She comes on the broadcast at the end.
Yes.
There you go.
Daisy Lou. And then I've got another little clip here to look at. It's just a quick one. We were talking about Paul Crane earlier. I was at his show this past winter, and I've got just like a 3-minute clip from that. Let's take a quick look. Well, hello, friends. We are here at the Cranes Snowmobile Show 2024. It's February 3rd, 2024. The 10th annual Cranes Vintage Snowmobile Show in Lancaster, New Hampshire at Cranes Snowmobile Museum, 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Since it's the 10th annual show, they've pulled out all the stops to make it extra special, and we've got an extra special turnout today. This could be possibly the biggest turnout ever. As you can see, there's a sea of people and a sea of sleds, and it's kind of hard to get around with all the people and stuff, but we're going to do it anyway and try to give you a look at as many sleds as we possibly can. So let's get started. This is Phil Bell's Snowjet, 69 Snowjet. So these are Ed Stabs and Jeff Mower's sleds, these here, huh?
I believe so, yeah. Ed's got that, what is this?
That TC?
Snow I've never heard of that.
This one here?
Way up, that orange.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique because the fiberglass cab is incorporated right into the metal of the chassis. So
Wow.
You can't remove the cab.
Interesting.
Yeah, never seen anything like that. That's a 66, which is quite stylish for 66 sled.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the Crane show. That's one of my favorite shows. I really love that show. But reactions to that, guys?
How'd you find a place where there was snow?
Yeah, just luck. Luck
Yeah.
that we had snow that weekend.
This coming weekend is our Canadian Thanksgiving, and I've seen us take our snowmobiles up and down the Cottage Road because we have snow, and we haven't even taken the boats out of the water yet. It's so warm here.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
A lot of nice sleds there. That was last year?
Yeah,
Right.
they usually have that the first Saturday of February, right there in Lancaster, right at Crane Snowmobile Museum. And there's another 100 sleds in the building.
I got to go this year.
Oh yeah, that's a can't miss show. That's definitely one of my favorite shows for sure.
And there was this canoe right there with a bumper on it, a push guard. Did that ever come factory?
That's a good question. I don't know. Right there.
Yes,
my dad made one for my
Just
sister.
my 70 has it on it too, that bumper like that. They were Skidoos did not come with the bumpers, with the mud flaps and the rear bumpers. They were add-ons, and that was a feature that the dealers had back in the late 60s and early 70s. Because my 70, I found out from the original dealer, Palmer Marine, that was a dealer add-on, but it was all from the factory. That.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, my sister needed one. She liked to push things out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there was someone I wanted to point out because he passed away recently, and I saw him walk by. Let me try to find him. Let me go this way.
Daisy, do you want me to get you a treat? Will you be good? You be good. Be good.
Where the heck was he?
Be good.
Okay, so on the right here with the Ski-Doo jacket, it kind of cuts off his head, so I'm only maybe 98% sure it's him, but it's Bruce Borovars. He passed away a few months ago. He was one of the board members of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and he would go to all of these events. Yeah, unfortunately, we lost him a few months ago, so very sad on that. And then the other person I wanted to point out, you probably recognize his voice, and you saw his face briefly, is Midge Rosebrook. He's been on the podcast many times. He'll be on in fact, I'm going the wrong direction. Of course, he was there. He lives just down the road, and we were walking around, talking up sleds, looking at sleds. Right there. Midge Rosebrook. He's the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and yeah, a great friend. He comes on the podcast quite frequently. We're going to do a podcast, he and I, the third Sunday of every month. So this one will be Sunday, the 20th of October. We're going to honor the late, great racing legend, Eastern racing legend, Roger Poulin. So if you have memories of that or just curious about that, be sure to tune in 8 p.m. Sunday night, the 20th, October 20th, and we're going to be honoring the late, great Roger Poulin. Midge Rosebrook and I will be doing that.
Thank you.
Those are the comments I wanted to make, but anyone else with comments on what we've just been looking at here?
No, Mike, you did a great job again tonight. It's a wonderful setup that you had. Good agenda. Everything was perfect from my end. I really enjoyed seeing all this.
Well, of course, I appreciate that. Yeah, glad to have you on. And yeah, this was a lot of
fun. Great
videos
tonight, and it was good to have Bruce on. Nice to see your reflection, Bruce.
Definitely.
Thank you.
And then we've got some comments that have come in. Let's go through these real quick. Awesome show tonight. Thanks, Bruce, for sharing your collection. Appreciate seeing the show footage too. See everyone next week. Absolutely. And this Sunday night, Ben and I and Rob are going to be doing the Vintage Mini Bike podcast, 8 p.m. Sunday night, right here. So if you like those old mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, be sure and check it out. Jeff Wesner says you will walk about 15 miles to see everything at Heydays. Yes. Stacy and Art Fosler say saw a Polaris sled that on the windshield said, "Here, kitty, kitty," in the trails. Nice. And then Steve Woodward says, "Great show, guys. Appreciate that." Benadim says, "Nice Blizzard racer." Also, shout out to the Benadim YouTube channel. Link in the description. He does an excellent vintage snowmobile channel. This podcast now simulcasts to that channel too, by the way, which is great. John Spranger Jr. says, "Another great show." Appreciate that. Mad Dog says, nice looking 245 and a Blizzard in that lineup. He liked that RV. Yes. Stacy Nart Fosler say, never saw a toboggan like that. Yes, let me get that back on the screen. That was the last one there. I think they called the Elias.
Who was the first
Elias.
person who would try something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, you get on a hill, I bet that could go horribly wrong. And then Reese Fleury says, would like to go. Absolutely. It was an accessory, that front bumper he's talking about on that Ski-Doo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Cool
were
deal.
accessories for ours. Yeah.
Nice. I love getting this feedback. That's the cool thing about doing a live podcast, just the immediacy of, questions and answers and interacting. It's really nice. Benedim says, great show, fellas. Thank you for sharing your collection, Bruce. And then Glenn Ford says, great show, guys. Reese Fleury says, great show. Thank you. And Jim Holbrook says, this weekend is the grass drags and watercross at Epping, New Hampshire. Thank you for that. Yes. So if anyone's that's drivable for you, possibly, Bruce.
Yeah, I have a family commitment this weekend, but I am going to win that Formula 3.
Yes.
Okay. I told Joan to buy one ticket, and she came back with a handful because it's our daughter's birthday. So
there we go. Well, good. I hope you get the call.
I hope so too.
And then also Daisy Lou. How you doing, Daisy Lou?
Oh, there she is.
How you doing, girl?
There she is.
She's mad. I left her at home all day.
Oh no. Separation anxiety.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm going to sign off because I got some work to do here before I go to bed, and I will talk to you soon.
Good to meet you,
Definitely.
Bruce.
Yeah, great meeting you, Bruce. Thank you for coming on. And as always, our last word goes to Amsoil. Have a good evening, everyone.
Take care.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves them money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero.
Wow.
If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer discount, preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order. That gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters, free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business. That's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure, for sure. So when you sign up under that that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes, yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.